Hi guys, it's Kat. Today, I'm going to show you how to make this motorized faucet with a sink and marble countertop. I love creating functional miniatures, and this one was so much fun to put together. I asked you guys on Instagram if you would like to see simple 3D printing tutorials from me, and 92% of you said yes. 3D printing might seem intimidating, but I promise you it's easier than it seems. 3D printers are more affordable than they've ever been, and it truly is the future. I'll show you how to make this working miniature sink and faucet while incorporating simple 3D printing steps. There are two basic ways 3D printers work. The first and most popular kind melts a strand of plastic through a heated nozzle and lays it down on a heated plate. It does this layer by layer, slowly building up your creation. This is a great beginner introduction to the printing world. The second kind uses liquid resin that will harden when exposed to UV light. Some printers use a laser for that light, and some use an LCD screen. Both filament and resin printers build up an object layer by layer. Resin printers are known to produce more accurate, higher resolution prints, which makes them ideal for small and detailed minis. That's why I decided to get this Anycubic Mono Mini resin printer. I'll show you side-by-side comparisons of the same object printed on both printers in my demonstration. If you're interested in printing items people have already created, there are so many free files online. I love Thingiverse because you can search for items and print them right away. If you want to create your own designs, here is a super simple tutorial. The best beginner 3D modeling software I found is Tinkercad. It's web-based so you don't have to download anything, it's free, and it's super user-friendly. Let's create the sink first. On the right-hand side, I drop down on Basic Shapes and select the red cube. Drag it onto your work surface. I pull on the sides to make it wider and a bit longer until I get the size of the sink I want. To hollow out the inside, drag a gray cube from the right-hand side and place it inside your rectangle. The gray shape is basically an eraser, so it'll remove anything it touches. If I select both the gray and red rectangles and hit the top button to group them together, you can see how the gray one cut out the area inside the red. Pretty cool, right? The sink now needs a drain hole, so I drag in this orange cylinder shape. Make it smaller and place it in the bottom center of the sink. To turn the orange shape into an eraser, click Hole in the pop-up window and you have your drain. Any of these shapes can turn into solids or erasers. There are unlimited types of sinks you can make and countless ways to design them. I love this website because it's so intuitive and it takes just minutes to come up with new designs. Now it's time for a faucet. Inside of the basic shapes on the right-hand side, click Shape Generator. Then select the purple pipe. This little pop-up window allows you to adjust how you want the pipe to look. You can change the length, the curve, and the thickness. You can also decide how wide you want the inside opening to be. Play around with it until you get the shape you like. Let's make this one pink so it's easier to see. I make a copy of the pipe, remove the curve, and widen it for a faucet base. Let's make that one green. Make a copy of that, turn it sideways, and attach it to the base. Add 2 more cylinders for the handle. Isn't this way easier than you thought 3D modeling would be? Now export your design as an STL file. To print it, we need to run our design through a software that basically slices it into layers and adds support. This resin printer comes with their own software on this USB drive. Drag your design into the software. When I say support, what I mean is little anchors that help hold your print in place while it's printing. I add them wherever there's a big gap between the design and the platform. Just click where you want a support beam and the software automatically adds it. When you're done, click the icon that looks like a stack of papers to slice it. Save it to a USB drive. Stick the USB drive into the side of the resin printer and select it from the LCD screen. Now watch the print bed lower into the pool of liquid resin. The printer will shine a light from the bottom to cure your design layer by layer until it's complete. The platform will slowly rise as the print gets bigger and bigger. As a precaution, please use any resin printer in a well-ventilated room and don't touch the liquid with your bare hands. Here is the printed faucet. You can wash off the remaining resin manually, but I'll show you an even easier process. This looks like another printer, but it's actually a washing and curing machine. This plastic bin has a magnetic spinning motor at the bottom to give your print a deep clean. Ideally, I will use rubbing alcohol, but that's really hard to find these days, so I'm using this mean green detergent. Place the print in a basket and submerge it into the bin. Turn it on and let it do all the work. I let it run for 12 minutes and then take it out to air dry. If you don't have this machine, you can simply wash the design in a tub with detergent. Once it's dry, remove the bin from the machine and place the print on the acrylic platform. Place down the machine and put on the cover. Now it will fully cure the print with the LED lights in the back. If you don't have this machine, you can use sunlight or a nail lamp for this step. I love how this looks as it's curing. Once it's cured, simply snip off the support beams and you're done. I printed this same faucet design in my filament printer to show you the difference. As you can see, the gray resin print is a lot smoother while you can see the layer lines in the black filament one. Details like that matter a lot in miniatures. Here I'm printing the sink design using the exact same steps. After a wash and a final dance in the light machine, it's ready to go in the kitchen. For the kitchen counter, I'm cutting a 2-inch wide strip from a 1/4-inch thick piece of plywood. To make a straight cut, I'm using this Japanese handsaw. It's super sharp and cuts as you pull on the blade. Just cut a groove to start and the blade will do most of the work. This step is super therapeutic. I trace the shape of the sink on the counter and cut it out by drilling a bunch of holes along the outline. This method is a bit time consuming, but ensures I get a perfectly sized cutout. Sand the edges, and now it's ready for paint. For a marbled effect, I first lay down a coat of white acrylic paint. Here I added another piece of wood to extend the counter. Then I take these acrylic pour paints in white, gray, silver, and black. Pour white all over the counter and spread it out. Then add on a few dots of gray and gently swirl it into the white. Leave it out to dry overnight. Once it's dry, the marbling effect is a lot easier to see. Then mix a bit of black with gray and add it to the counter in thin strokes. This creates the veining effect you often see in marble. You can also add metallic silver paint for a sparkly effect. For a high gloss shine and to waterproof this counter, I'll be using this tabletop epoxy from Total Boats. It's a 2-part epoxy where you mix equal parts of A and B. Slowly mix it for 3 minutes. Then pour it in a thin layer across your countertop. I use a hairdryer on low to help spread the epoxy and pop any air bubbles. Once it's cured overnight, the epoxy will be rock hard and super glossy. Now it's time to get ready for installation. Because it will have actual running water, we'll need a faucet hole. I drilled through the counter right above the sink. This piece of tape helps me from scratching or cracking the epoxy. Before installing these prints, let's paint them in chrome. I'll be using my compact airbrush for a flawless finish. First, I place the faucet on a stick to hold it in place and spray a black base coat. Do the same for inside the sink. Now it's time for my secret weapon. This chrome paint from Spaz works like magic. It gives the object a super shiny mirrored finish. To install, I use more epoxy to glue the parts into the counter. Make sure the epoxy doesn't get inside the faucet opening. To make the sink truly waterproof and sealing the paint, I add a layer of epoxy inside the sink. While that cures, let's go over the simple water system. This is a miniature water pump you can get for a few dollars online. I've linked it in the description box below for reference. It has a USB connection for the power, so you can even use your computer to turn it on. I'll be using this power bank because it has an on and off switch. Let me demonstrate it with water. I'll use a straw as a pipe and stick it into this top spout. Place the pump into a little container with water. Now just turn it on. The pump pulls water from the tiny container and sprays it into the red bowl. We'll assemble it in a way that allows the container to refill as the sink drains. We'll need one thin straw for the faucet and a thicker straw for the drain. This clear one is a bubble tea straw. I glue them under the sink with E6000 epoxy glue. Cut the straws so they fit underneath any cabinets that you have. Attach the water pump to the faucet straw and then settle this whole structure inside the little container. Fill the container with water and you're ready to watch the magic happen. Turn on the power and watch the water flow beautifully out of the faucet and into the sink. It drains from the sink into the basin below and this loop can go on forever. I made sure to waterproof the underside of the counter and I'll be putting a lid on this water container. That will ensure we don't get any water damage from accidental spills. Coming up in another video is a tutorial on how to build the lower cabinets for this countertop. It'll have drawers and doors that open and close. I hope you guys liked this video and learned something new. I love learning new techniques to incorporate into my miniatures, and 3D printing will add so much realism and functionality. I can't wait to show you more ideas and techniques. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye.